Well, safe to say, folks, I'm still a little pissed off. Shout out to my boy Super Dave Boston in the chat. He said, Dan, you got to relax because you did predict that the Buffalo Bills would lose this game against the Houston Texans. And I did. I did indeed. I pegged us for a loss against the Texans. I didn't like how we stacked up from an injury perspective. I thought that there was at least a little bit of hope because Houston also, make no mistake, did not really look good for the vast majority of it once Nico ended up going down. However, man, I feel better than last night, right? Like last night I was seething. I think I made one last tweet saying that I'm still mad, and then I just completely unplugged. I barely watched any of the 4 o'clock games, and I barely watched that Steelers and the Cowboys game because all I could think about was Sean McDermott and his, again, like over and over and over and over again. And you know what? Listen, I'm going to go out and I'm going to say this. I have been an apologist for Sean McDermott for a long time. I have always had his back. I once had that mentality. I'm like, this is the best coach we've had in so long. Let's be grateful. At least he wins us the AFC East. At least he gets us to the playoffs. And I want to tell you what, I still see us winning this division. I still see us making the playoffs. But why I'm pissed off specifically is because we continuously see these boneheaded, dumb decisions, whether or not that you wanted to accept the 10-second runoff, whether or not that you were anticipating that Sean McDermott would at least attempt one rush when the ball was pinned back in our 2-yard line in the end zone. I was so heated, I forgot that the Houston Texans had 3 timeouts. I really was. And I ended up making a video, and people were like, Dan, well, Houston ended up having 3 timeouts. And I suppose once I came back down to reality, hold up. And I realized that that was the case. It pissed me off even more. I felt that his decision-making was a hell of a lot worse. And him simply not, like, kneeling the football would have been better than what actually was true. And what actually was true is that this Houston Texans team, right? Like this Houston Texans team had 3 timeouts. And we could have had them burn all of their timeouts by a run. And let me tell you what, this would have been completely predictable. I understand that. Even if James Cook perhaps were to get 3-4 yards, something along those lines, like per rush, say, for example, like 1 to 2, 3 to 4. That's 2 timeouts, and we would have had like a 3rd and 4, a 3rd and 3, what have you. And the clock could have very well marched down. And Sean McDermott just didn't do it, man. He just wanted to go on ahead, and he wanted to attempt to throw the ball 3 times where a quarterback was completing close to about 30% of each and every single one of his passes that evening. And it just absolutely infuriates me. It really, really does. Shout out to everybody in the chat. What is going on? This team effing sucks. And Dolphins have their own problems. If Tua comes back, Miami still has a chance to win this division. I'm sorry, Glenn, but and so Miami looked like absolute shit yesterday. So did the Buffalo Bills. Don't get me wrong. But listen, don't go celebrating a win over this New England Patriots team because make no mistake, this Miami Dolphins team looked absolutely fucking terrible. There's no chance they are making the playoffs. I'm sorry. Everything about yesterday killed me. I totally agree. But guys, listen, let's go on ahead and check out BetUS real fast. Shout out BetUS for powering this video. It's the #1 sports book on the face of the planet. And I know that we're all in the doldrums right now. We sincerely are, folks. We have the Buffalo Bills are still the betting favorites to win the AFC East. Next up is going to be the Jets at +300, Miami Dolphins at +700, and the Patriots at +6,500. Holy hell. If any Patriots believers are still in the equation, definitely hop on in and make it happen, folks. They are matching 150% of your first deposit all the way up to $2,000. Second and third deposit are matched at 125% walking into it. So certainly do me a favor and take advantage of the best promo in the game. Just go to their website and utilize code YouTube150 and get in on the action. We have all of these odds for the division and then also all of the games that we can go on ahead and bet on. +6,500 for them Pats, baby. +6,500 for them Pats, baby. Let's go on ahead and make that happen. Let's make that happen. Dan, don't celebrate being able to win the division That means nothing right about now. First off, you misspelled right. Second off, that is the prerequisite for each and every single team that walks into it, man. Listen, all I can control is this Buffalo Bills team. All I can control is this Buffalo Bills team, what opponent they have in front of them. And right now we have the New York Jets on Monday Night Football, which I am looking forward to attending. I'm going to be in New York on Thursday afternoon, and then I will be there until Tuesday morning. I'm very, very excited to meet all of you that have bought tickets to meet me, Richie, TD, and Colby out at our live event. Sincerely cannot wait. It's going to be a hell of a damn time. But that's honestly what the Buffalo Bills have in front of them right now. And look, this is how I look at it, right? So we have the Buffalo Bills schedule moving forward. Buffalo Bills schedule. And I'll tell you what, listen, I haven't even started unpacking some of the advanced metrics from the Jets and the Buffalo Bills game. But I mean, one thing I can tell you is that I think this game is going to be absolutely ugly. It's going to be a very ugly win or a very ugly matchup, regardless of what happens. Thank God Taron Johnson might be back, which is going to be ideal. And shout out to our defense. All right. No one better question. So nobody better question this Buffalo Bills defense. With all of the injuries that we had out there, they gave this Buffalo Bills offense as many opportunities as possible to win that game. Sincerely, they did. But now that Taron Johnson is coming back, I'm feeling a hell of a lot more confident, if you will. A hell of a lot more confident, if you will. But anyway, moving on forward, guys, here it is. So this is the Buffalo Bills schedule. And right now we sit at 3-2. Worst case scenario, this is what can happen. Because I'm sorry, but right now, how the Buffalo Bills have been playing, we are the 2023 Dolphins. We only beat teams that are absolute trash, right? And the Seahawks ended up losing to the Giants. The Tennessee Titans are in absolute shambles. And the New York Jets are also in shambles, right? So say, for example, that we end up taking care of business against the Jets. Look at that. We're 4-2. We beat the Titans, which we should, at home. Okay, first home game in a long time, 5-2. Seahawks, 6-2. Miami Dolphins, you already know that we are going to kick their ass, 7-2. Indianapolis Colts, 8-2. Maybe the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that's 8-3. I'm not going to lie to you. But anyway, listen, this is how we look at it right now. We have a stretch and time to get right. And I've said this a million times. I genuinely believe that what's important is the fact that this team, while they go through a hiccup each and every single season, and trust me, I legitimately go on ahead and I look at all of my mentions and stuff of people thinking that the sky is falling. Oh my God, it's over, dude. Sell the team. Fire this guy. Fire that guy. Like, it's every single year. It's because of this lull that we see, like, in front of us. However, what this team has shown a propensity for is the fact that we end up playing ball the correct way in November and December. So do we get healthy at the right time, which we are? And I mean, make no mistake. Listen, zero excuse. We should have won that game, regardless of the injuries. And with Josh Allen, should have played better football. It's just how it is. I could care less about the 0 interceptions. If that means that Josh, like, he needs to start being more reckless, I would trade some Josh Allen interceptions for about one more win for us to be able to make that happen. Us getting a fumble from CJ Stroud 20 yards away and not scoring a touchdown on that drive was absolutely pitiful. Man. We're going to have to see. Even the Chiefs lose games. It's going to happen at some point. He blew the playoff game versus Kansas City too. Terrible management. And so I'm a Bills fan, so root for them always. Get to the playoffs and anything can happen. I'm just good that we started with 3-0. Listen, that was so important. So important that we have this insurance policy. And so the Dolphins are terrible, but we have an excuse. Miami starting QB is out. And if Miami learns to run the ball while Tua is out there, when that comes back, this team will be better. Lie to yourself. You lie to whoever. McDermott needs to be gone at year end. We're going to continue to go down this path year after year. We have Rob. Hear me out. Joe Brady is selling games so he can stay with us next year and not be a coach for somebody else. Hen QT, man. Dude, he's got the tinfoil hat on and everything. Frank, hey, Dan, I just bought some new AirPods, so now I can listen to you while at work. Frank, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for coming on. We have Mario coming in. And Allen needs to be checked out for that hard hit. I think that affected his play. First off, he 1,000% had a concussion. And I mean, it's funny because like I'm seeing some Bills fans out there like almost getting offended that I said that. Like, oh, Dan, like you know that there's an independent like doctor that checks him out. Like, bro, like he was knocked out cold. He was knocked out cold. And then I ended up seeing like a bunch of people on Twitter and stuff like that, like try saying, oh, like he wasn't fencing, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Like, fencing is the absolute worst case scenario. Like, fencing is a like category 5 concussion. All right. Like, you can get a concussion without fencing. Like, they are not mutually exclusive. He was knocked out for like a solid 45 seconds. We saw him grabbing his helmet like this on the sideline, and they gave him smelling salts. They gave the dude smelling salts on the side, and they threw him back in there. So, I mean, I got to be honest with you guys. Like, dude was 1,010% concussed. I would bet all of the money in the world that they threw him back out there with a concussion. Now, whether or not that was Josh, maybe he was refusing to take that test or something along those lines, or he said that he got hit in the chest or he rolled his ankle. Make no mistake, dude was knocked out cold. He was knocked out cold when he took that hit. It's just how it is. And he was knocked out. He couldn't fence. J.A. had his marbles rocked. And the concussion protocols are an absolute joke. And Josh is always hitting them smelling salts, though, unless it was Juicy Lucy or a Zinni. Shout out to the Juicy Lucy's. And that's what I'm talking about. So the announcer said that he was pointing at his chest. He will play. No wonder he went 9 for 30. Yeah, dude, listen, it was a bad performance. It was definitely a bad performance for sure. And like, here's the thing. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to hate going through these statistics, but we have to. So we absolutely have to go through these stats. All right. So we have this right here, like 131 for touchdown, 9 for 30 is absolutely crazy. I'm not going to lie to you. And you have James Cook, 20 carries for 82 yards, 1 touchdown, right? And here's the thing, which pisses me off even more, because when you are at that position, and I understand that like we haven't won an overtime in his career, or Sean McDermott's career has not ended up winning a comeback victory or a come from behind victory in overtime. But that was just pure mismanagement. like, dude, run the ball with James Cook at least once. Holy hell. Like, listen, man, like, so Joe Brady, bro, we have seen so many occasions where you have run, and then a short pass, and it's frustrating, and we end up going 3 and out for the past 2 games. Why didn't we keep that same energy? Because you know that James Cook, at the very least, would have gotten 4 yards with both of those attempts from up the middle. At the very least, he would have gotten about 4 or 5 yards max. And then that becomes a 3rd and 5. And then you end up putting it in Josh Allen's hands where he can go on ahead and run the ball for a first down, run the ball, have them burn their timeouts, and then we live to fight another day during overtime. I feel like nothing that this team did offensively showed me that we deserved to win this game. We all got problems, Dan Mitchell. King Lowski, thank you so much, man. So, Lowski, so what do you have to say to all of these Dolphins fans right in the chat and that are super confident right now? What do you have to say about them fraud fish in the chat right now? I'm very curious. It's obvious this team loses my bad situational football. It's poor coaching. I'm ready to move on from McDermott. If this season ends the same, luckily, we still have lots of football to be played. I'm concerned with our 3rd down efficiency. Last season, we were so good. Not so much now. Come on, Dan and Bills fans. And you only lost 2 games. The season is still early. Listen, all right? I am always one to say that it is early. It's week 6, and I want to remind everybody that we went 6-6 last year, and then what ended up happening, we got hot at the right time. It's just how it is. I'm still hurt about yesterday, and so I think this whole division is a fraud. As long as we are the top frauds, that's all that matters. And the bum fraud fish aren't fighting for one, like I said, irrelevant. Holy hell. I'm seething, Dan. We have AOL Instant Messenger. He's feeling it right now. So am I, my friend. Listen, we are all seething right here. We can all be super upset. And the Finns fans are confident right now, talking as a Finn fan. He's talking as a Finn fan. I have no idea. 2 losses and the sky is falling. And the Dolphins fans are hyped because they beat the Pats. Jets winning this division. So you guys are still the best in your division. With Rodgers is irrelevant. Dan, it's a different year. Oh my God. Don't tell me I got a Finns fan in here. We all know how it ends on the couch. Win the division, get playoffs, and anything can happen. But yesterday was bad. Absolutely. Listen, man. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this up again. So we ended up playing 2 very difficult teams right there. And make no mistake, right? And so I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. So with this Houston Texans team was trying to lose that game. It was trying to lose that game, right? Our defense held them to 3 points in the second half, obviously. So with the exclusion of that last minute field goal that ultimately ended up losing the game, right? Then with CJ Stroud, so he throws an interception, which he never throws an interception. And then on the next drive, he fumbles it, immediately giving us possession in the end zone, one of the two. So we're going to see. You see Diggs looking at Allen at the end of the game. Yes, I told you guys that they hate each other. I told you that they hate each other from the very beginning. Spoiler. So the Bills are going to get in the playoffs and beat the crap out of a team in the wild card and then get our asses whooped in the second round. Holy shit. Don't say that again. Dan, I don't know if I trust Joe Brady for this offense this season. I know he was coaching Allen, but come on, they should have found a coach with way more experience in the NFL. If we don't go after Cooper or Adams, this is going down in flames. Dan, does Bean look to Adams to give this offense side a jolt? Listen, man, I honestly think that we are going to make a move for a wide receiver. I sincerely do. I just don't know if it's going to be Adams. So here are some receivers that I think that could be on the trading block that I would be excited about. I would like Amari Cooper from Cleveland, especially since Cleveland is sitting at 1-4 right now. And I think he'd be cheaper. And I think that he'd be an automatic upgrade. So I love Adams, but I mean, we'll see. Lord, I would rather have a tank season than go to the playoffs and lose in the first round. Give me those draft picks. And that's my Texans, is not being able to close out games properly without always giving other team a chance to come back. I mean, hey, man, listen, y'all walked out with a W, and y'all are 4-1 right now, and y'all are sitting pretty at top of the AFC South. I just sincerely hope that next time we play you guys, that we indeed will be a more buttoned up team. That is for sure. And the Jets beat the Bills down, come back old the bye week and beat the Colts. Then 3 teams in the AFC East at 3-3. And my Dolphins take the division when we beat the Cardinals and take number back in the division. We have Teddy with an extreme sense of delusion in the chat right now. But I love it, honestly. Shane, one of our coordinators made adjustments at the half, and the other one was Brady. Shout out Bobby Babich. He did make adjustments. Now, listen, I feel like we also need to stop pretending that Nico Collins was not hurt either. So who knows if this game would have been entirely different if Nico Collins didn't pull his hamstring on that touchdown pass. That's something I think that we need to have a conversation about, right? So I feel like we had every opportunity. I thought everyone ate and this team was better without Diggs. Guess not. And so enough food to go around. It doesn't matter. We're going to grab a wide receiver at the trade deadline. It's just a matter of who. Some people have thrown around Hopkins' name. Genuinely, I think he's washed. Maybe he has some sort of upside since Will Levis was throwing him the football for the past couple of years, but we will see. And so I would like Amari Cooper. As well. So don't be surprised if that's something that Brandon Beane has already made a call for. You're right, Dan. Finns fans are the absolute worst. Go Bills from Kansas. And the banged up Bills did better on defense than I expected, especially in the second half. Mac Hollins is a liability. I was really, yeah, dude, listen. So that deep shot from Mac Hollins, he should have caught that football. Like, zero excuse for that. And so I know that Josh did try to say that he overthrew him. He didn't. And even if he did slightly, that had to go down for a touchdown and things would have been different. Hopkins is washed, so likely the Bills' choice. Go Bills from Kansas. But if Sean McDermott is fired, would our defense look the same? We aren't the Dolphins bad, and Allen just taking games off. Go Bills from Kansas. Let's get Cooper and Adams. Both of them. Okay, interesting. And so with Hopkins seems decent, but I think he lost that competitive edge he used to have. Who willingly goes right to the Titans if they want to win? I know, right? Super interesting. Extend Coach McDermott. Dan, all right. So with Josh's Iron Man, okay, what did my boy say? Let me see. And so Josh is Iron Man while asked to wear a cape and do Superman things, but times gets hit with kryptonite and asks for his Captain America or Batman, but always let down by the Avengers and just leg. I mean, dude, listen, man. Like, dude's banged up. So dude's been playing with a broken hand for the past 4 weeks, right? He's not running the ball like he used to. He's not taking shots. He's not being aggressive. It just sucks. It sucks. But listen, one thing I will say, it's very nice. It's very nice that this Buffalo Bills team started off 3-0 with a solid insurance policy. And folks, I'm not going to lie to you, but listen, I love all of these matchups that are coming through right now. We have the Jets, we have the Titans, we have the Seahawks, we have the Dolphins, and we have the Colts. I'm nervous about the Jets, obviously, since, of course, this is a divisional matchup. But if we can scrape away a road victory from the New York Jets, right? What team is going to go 0-3 in the past 3 games? What team is going to go? What team is going to go 0-3 in their past 3? Who is going to lose 3 straight games? That is either the New York Jets or that is either the Buffalo Bills, right? This Jets defense has picked it up tremendously. They certainly have. But obviously with the Jets offense, for some reason, they are just not clicking. And I don't understand what it is. Josh has to grow the F up. 2 game was bad. I agree, Donald. He played like ass. Y'all should win all of these. I hope so, JJ. I sincerely hope so. When we lose, I get short with my family, my girl, and my coworkers. I'm seething. Hey, man, listen, me too, bro. Me too, man. You have no idea. So would Josh hold the ball way too long? Well, so I'll tell you what. So with buy stocks, it's tough when none of the receivers were creating separation, right? Like, so this Houston Texans team was like top 5 in overall pass defense. Like, we knew exactly what we were walking into, right? Like, so you have Stingley, and same thing with Kamari Lassiter. Solid DBs. Solid DBs, man. We're going to have to see. And the Texans are a good team, and Bills will make the playoffs. It is a long season. One game doesn't necessarily predict the future. Saleh will outcoach Sean McDermott. I'll tell you what. All right, listen. I have my reservations for Sean McDermott. He pisses me off. Trust me. But if there's any coach in this league right now that I believe is worse than Sean McDermott for their team, that continuously shoots themselves in the foot, it's Robert Saleh. If there is any coach that I think is more of a liability to their team, it's Robert Saleh over Sean McDermott. And I know that that's crazy to say because Sean McDermott is a close second. But I promise you, Robert Saleh is just as much a detriment to his team than Sean McDermott is. That is for sure. 8 years with McDermott and no Super Bowl trips. Most people thought the Bills would be 3-2 at this point, so maybe people need to relax when Bass isn't the problem. I know, right? Absolutely insane. Mitch should start next week. I know it's a division rival, but Josh Head hit the ground hard. I mean, listen, if we want to go 3-3, then absolutely start Mitch Trubisky. All I want to do is just make sure that we hear what's going on with our quarterback right now, because I feel like we have to see the injury report and figure things out right here. But I mean, so we'll see what's going on here. Hold up. Oh, man. Bro, what the fuck? Look at all my damn. Oh my God, man. Look at all of my DMs of people being like, damn, what the hell happened, dude? All right, here. Bang. An inexcusable way to lose and horrible clock management at the end of the game. You knew he was making that. And I'm trying to get through a Monday at work after watching football for 20 straight hours on Sunday. Yo, what happened to Rodgers? So I feel like I didn't even see what's going on. Rico, what up, dude? How you doing, man? Rico, what up, dude? How you doing, bro? Man, we're sitting here coping, Rico. That is precisely what we are doing this morning, is sitting here and coping and somehow praying that we can get Amari Cooper on this squad as soon as humanly possible. As soon as humanly possible. Him or Adams or Hopkins, I don't give a shit. Give me somebody who can create separation. Give me somebody who can create separation over here, man, because I'm starving, baby. As everybody eats, give me a break. I'm starving over here, dog. I'm starving. Forget everybody eats. Give me a number one. Dalton Kincaid, catch the fucking football. All right? Keon Coleman, congratulations on your touchdown, but pay the fuck attention, dude. Like, dude took a football to the side of the helmet. Come on, man. Like, that was legitimately a perfect personification of how I felt during that game all day, man. Absolutely nuts. And with T. Higgins, not for me. I'm sorry, but like, so with T. Higgins, it's not for me because he is the exact same kind of wide receiver. He's the exact same kind of wide receiver that Keon Coleman is. Like, he's not a separator. He's just a big 50-50 ball guy. I feel like it would be redundant to say that we got T. Higgins. I really think that it would be redundant. Let's talk about it. And so you try to have the coach fired. Let's be real for a minute. Joe Brady was the problem. Not having number one isn't the sole problem. Rico is coming on in, man. Rico, I love you, man. I love you, man. Listen, here's the deal. As much as I get upset with Sean McDermott's clock management and his game time decisions, several opportunities, several options. Yes, does it piss me off? Absolutely. Yes, would I perhaps want to, look for an offensive-minded head coach? Say, for example, this season ends the way that it has been for the past couple of years, 110%. But yeah, listen, blame is not completely going away from Joe Brady. He has come out and laid two stinkers, one against the Baltimore Ravens, and then obviously one against the Houston Texans, right? And the thing is that I would have to say that I think that we might need somebody else that could actually create some sort of separation by itself, right? Because like Shakir was out playing half of the Ravens game completely hurt, and he is our only go-to that is consistent that Josh trusts. And then yesterday rather, we were without him in the first place. So yeah, worst case scenario, like just give us one more, like, I'd say insurance policy. And as much as Curtis Samuel, listen, man, like I know a lot of people are mad at Curtis Samuel, but here's the deal. For some reason, Joe Brady is just not fucking using him correctly. He's just not using him correctly, man. Listen, he was a dog with Carson Wentz. Like, dude was a dog with Carson Wentz. And we're just not using him appropriately, like, right within the slot. It's just how it is. And Dawson Knox is the best to ever do it. And we have to get Matt Collins the F out of here. And this lineup, he's a special teamer starting on offense. Rodgers is hurt again. Yeah, I'm kind of curious about what's happening to Rodgers and how you're Yeah, dude, what the hell happened to Aaron Rodgers, bro? Is he out there playing hurt? Okay. Why not challenge the Kincaid catch? Obviously a catch. Even brought in that former ref to help with that. Where was he? McDermott is horrible at challenges, and that was the clearest challenge he would have won. I'm not entirely sure if he would have won, so to be completely honest with you. And bring back Cole Beasley, man, dude. He's done. He's done right now. And the Texans brought in Diggs for the times when Nico and Tank were injured, with almost killed their passing game last night. A low ankle sprain. Have Ian said that it's a low ankle sprain? Let me see. Aaron Rodgers ankle. Let me see. All right. So was grabbing at his left knee after this hit, but walked off on his own and is back into the game. It appears to be a mild shearing at the knee and inward torque, so possible mild MCL sprain, but he's playing, so can't be too severe. Will probably hurt tomorrow. So what Rodgers said, he's definitely banged up. He called his injury a low ankle sprain for 22 hours. I'm definitely banged up, and so I got my foot caught in the tackle here. It's a low ankle sprain. All right, so it appears that both QBs are absolutely in shambles. I sincerely hope that this Bills-Jets game is not going to be Tyrod Taylor versus Mitchie Biscuits Trubisky. Dude, honestly, say that it had to come down to that, I would start Mike White over Mitchie Biscuits. It's how it is. And McDermott has his faults, but Joe, listen, Joe pissed me off, man. Joe was pissing me off all night, Rico. I'll tell you what, man. Look, I love this team, and I will be a diehard fan, but allowing Josh to come back into that game yesterday was shameful. He was clearly injured, and it's tough to see football before health. Listen, man, I'm not sure how he got back into this game, and so I'm not sure if, like, somehow he was just, like, say, for example, he might have finessed it, right? And said, oh, my God, my chest, man. My breath was knocked out. It's either that or he just lied to the training staff and he knew he was knocked the hell out, right? But dude said he got hit in the chest and his breath was out. But like, I mean, dude, like that man, that right there was one of the hardest hits I've seen to a head, and he then comes back out. It's absolutely crazy. Oh, hell nah. I am going to die if that happens. If this game is Tyrod Taylor and Mitchie Biscuits, holy shit, man. Someone refund my plane ticket to New York City on Thursday, if that's what it's going to be. I'm not going all the way up to New York to watch Tyrod Taylor versus Mitchie Biscuits. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it. Smelling salts, and they were offering him smelling salts. Holy shit, man. We're going to have to see. Shout out to everybody in the chat, guys. Smash that like button. Dan Mitchell on the way back to 30K subs. Get it, my boy. Thank you, Rico. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, dude. I appreciate that, man. Shout out to Buffalo Fanatics. Love my dudes over there. I'm sure all of you are familiar with the homies over there. They do a great damn job, and I love watching their post games. It's therapeutic to me. It is therapeutic to me watching Rico and Z-Bot scream for an hour and a half. I love it because that's how I feel internally. I do my live game reactions, but after the games, typically after a loss, I just want to crawl into a fetal position and sit in the shower fully clothed. All right. All of my energy is completely gone for the most part. So shout out to Rico and Z-Bot for having that energy and maintaining the energy and still coming on out there. This is absolutely beautiful. 450 of you in here already. Shout out to everybody in the chat. 308 on YouTube, 134 on X. Guys, smash that like button. We want 300 likes per stream. I'm live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. EST. And subscribe to the channel. Out of 432 of you currently watching me right now, I guarantee you at least 150 of you are not subscribed. We are going for 30,000 subscribers here in just a couple of weeks. So do me a favor, smash that like button. Help me get to this damn goal. I know we can do it. Subscribe, man. Let's make this happen. Really don't want Tyrod to play. Please keep Rodgers out there. I'm back to the Dorsey energy. Did Ken Dorsey come back and make a guest appearance for the past 2 weeks, folks? I honestly think that we need to have a full-scale investigation. I feel like we need to have a full-scale investigation if Ken Dorsey is still somehow involved within this offense, all right? And Joe Brady is just the proxy, all right? But then again, all right, with Ken Dorsey, he is ruining the Cleveland Browns. So I suppose things could be worse, all right? Because the Browns right now are not doing shit offensively with shitty teams and good teams. So it could be worse. It could definitely be worse. When Josh went down, so you see Mitch Trubisky's eyes, he was scared out of his mind. Absolutely. Listen, man. So our good friend Mitchie Biscuits has accepted the fact that he is a backup quarterback. He has accepted the fact that he is a backup QB. It's just how it is at this point. Anyway, let's knock this out. Being completely honest, in the moment, I wanted them to keep the time on the clock. If that punt goes into the end zone, you have 40 seconds and a shot at a field goal range. I get the other side of the argument, though. And the punt changed a lot of things. I feel like a lot of people just haven't understood that either. Man, fucking A, dude. It's a game of inches. It is a game of inches. All right, listen. Shout out to Aurora in the chat. What's going on, Aurora? Hope all is well. I think Josh has been injured since last week, so they had to play conservative. This poor quarterback has been getting banged up. And I think half of the reason why he's subjecting himself to so many injuries, it's because he can't go full throttle because of his broken hand, right? He is taking hits that he typically wouldn't take because he's trying to play conservative. Conservative Josh is putting himself up for far more significant injury. He's a lot safer when he goes out and just plays 100% full speed and feels almost, I'd say, invincible, right? Like, we haven't seen invincible, confident Josh Allen since week 1. And I understand that we beat, right? So we beat this Miami Dolphins team on week 2. But that was exclusively a James Cook game. Week 3, so against the Jacksonville Jaguars, that secondary was so banged up. I feel like really, so any one of us watching this live stream right now probably could have carved up that Jacksonville Jaguars secondary, right? But now we're starting to see that he's not playing at 100% full speed. He's playing conservative, and he's subjecting himself to hits that he typically wouldn't take because he's not confident out there, because he's playing hurt. He's playing with a broken hand, right? So let's pray to God. Say, for example, that I was a gambling man. We will not see the Josh Allen glove on his left hand until I feel like he'll have it off maybe. And this is a huge maybe by that Seahawks game. That's basically how that plays out. Shout out to Eric Barron for the super chat coming on in. Both my kids, 5 and 3 years old, were crying when Josh got hit and hurt. And I was so proud as a father that they were as invested in the game as I was. Eric, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Raising your children right. And I'm glad that everyone has decided to tune in to the Dan Mitchell Monday through Friday live stream to cope. Make no mistake, this is a coping stream, and we are all coping and hoping for the best. Can we get our confidence back, ladies and gents? I think that we can. But things are absolutely wild. So McDermott is a double agent and will continue to sabotage your team, but no skin off my back if you guys don't listen. Josh needs to become an efficient and consistent pocket passer because eventually he won't be able to rely on athleticism. No, we could not. We would all be sent to the hospital by the Jags D-line, Super Dave Boston. Neil is saying, and do you think we should go get Tua after the Dolphins release him after a season for a backup? No. All right, we have MB Surfer, my boy Corey from Myrtle Beach. What's going on, man? I finally am realizing that even though McDermott has a really good record with the Bills, it's because of Josh more so than coaching. Man, I'll tell you what. So here's my deal, right? How many more coordinators need to be sacrificed for the heirs of Sean McDermott? How many more coordinators, how many more scapegoats does this man need? But then again, like, look at how the Pagulas handle the Sabres, right? Like, when have they had a solid head coach, right? With Terry Pagula, he looks at Sean McDermott as his savior because at least on paper, he's a good coach, right? Like, he has a winning record. He does his thing. But it's just those game time decisions which are frustrating. Like, I mean, is what it is. So McDermott is a double agent, I promise you. Possibly 3 when you play the Jets. So many people want McDermott fired, but nobody says who the new head coach would be. Listen, Jordan, let me tell you what, man, okay? I have been a McDermott apologist for a very long time. And I can tell you so many different replacements. Number 1 is Ben Johnson. So the Detroit Lions with that offensive coordinator. He's number 1. Number 2 is Eric Bieniemy. Look at what Eric Bieniemy did while he was the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs. And look at what Eric Bieniemy has done with Jaden Daniels, 4-1, where they have 0 offense. And all they have is scary Terry McLaurin as a weapon for the guy and a somewhat questionable offensive line. So, yes, I have at least 2 replacements that I would love to see if Sean McDermott ends up taking a giant shit this year. I sincerely do. However, will our ownership do it? Probably not. But yes, my 2 biggest guys that I would want would be Bieniemy, and then also would be, his name is Ben Johnson. So the offensive coordinator for Detroit. That's precisely what I would be looking for. A doctor made a video talking about the hit that Allen took yesterday. He showed a clip rate of a worker giving Allen smelling salts. That is a red flag. And they clown and they say, Bill Belichick, listen, man, I don't think this team would benefit from a defensive coordinator because I don't think this team would benefit from a defensive-minded head coach because our defense has not been the problem. Where the F is Samuel? That's a great question. Dan, I've been telling you for 2 years now we needed to fire Sean and hire Eric Bieniemy. We need Ben Johnson. And the Bills are fine. Relax and be patient. It's a long season. Eric Bieniemy is not with the Commanders. He's at UCLA. UCLA. If Josh was a concussion, we need him to sit for how long he needs because he's our future. Just winning a few extra games is not worth it. Rah! What's up, Dragon Chaser? How you doing? Dan, that's not Eric. That's Cliff Kingsbury calling Washington offense. Excuse me. I'm still very destroyed from this game. And because of our coach, that's why the defense isn't the problem. Cliff is the OC. Cliff Kingsbury, too. Throw me some Cliff, baby. Throw me some Cliff. It was Kyler Murray that screwed Cliff. Let's talk about that. Your defense is turning into a problem while your D is turning into a problem while this offense get worse year after year. First off, I am not mad at our defense at all. It's our defense is the only reason why we had a chance of winning that game. And our defense is banged up to all hell. So our defense is zero issue. Trust me. And so our defense is zero issue. Should have take that 10-second runoff. When is Edwards and Milano coming back? Edwards, I'm not particularly sure. Milano is set for I think late November or early December. And Brian Dable is head coach. Absolutely not. And so I think that the Bagulas want Buffalo to be a defensive staple in the league, and our defense held Houston to 3 points in the second half. Absolutely. Trust me. This Bills defense is the furthest thing from the problem. It is a gaffe from Joe Brady. Can he come out? Joe Brady, I better see an offensive play calling masterclass on Monday night against the New York Jets. I better see a masterclass. Mike Edwards isn't injured. Brian Dable may have been the best head coach for Josh. I can manage the team better than a double agent McDermott. Why do you all, so other fan bases come in here trolling and silly? It's because I'm a part of the AFC East Roundtable. And so I'm also an NFL creator on TikTok and Instagram. All right. So I have my boys rolling here to troll me. It's just how it is. Watch your own teams. And so I want to see Lewis sign at safety. And so a coach and a player, and that has been together for 5 years, have not won a Super Bowl in the first 5 years, have never won a Super Bowl together. I agree. It's just how it is. And offense loses us games. Joe has to learn to be versatile and unpredictable, especially with the run. I can manage his team better than the double agent McDermott. Bills could have had Nico Collins and Xavier Worthy with the last 2 drafts and pass on them both. Plus what happened and all the motions and everything we did from week 1 through 3. And McDermott literally been our biggest problem for the past 3 years. And close game is on level 10 difficulty with Allen. And so our safeties are terrible. Bring back Micah Hyde. I think Josh is injured. His throwing style is way off. So not going to lie, Dan, and the defense looked good in the second half, but probably would have lost by more if Nico was there. Dan, I bet you the Bungles will trade the OCs with you still mad that Cincinnati didn't hire Joe. All right, man. We're going to have to see how that plays out. I really believe Allen will bring us a Super Bowl, but I know we all want it now. We really do. Without Josh, McDermott is absolutely nothing. I can't wait for the huddle at 3 p.m. EST. Safeties and linebackers are biting at our screen passes. Sideline throws 15 to 20 yards down. This field should be open all day. Lots of drops, too. Can't blame Allen alone. And with Nico Collins in year 4, is not drafted 2 years ago. And so the defense is never the problem, and only the play calling and decision-making. And not all players. And so we'll handle being called out in front of the locker room. If you have strong leadership, it is okay. Mac Hollins got feet for hands. Holy shit. He could have had bad Worthy in college, not passing the game. So vanilla, so offense. Troy, look at that. And so I didn't know McDermott called the offense. It's Joe Brady, Wilson Morales. Hey, listen. So with Joe Brady is not escaping blame whatsoever. He's not escaping blame. What we're blaming Sean McDermott for was his handling of that final down on our first 2-yard line. I understand that Houston had 3 timeouts, but you're telling me when we have a running back that had over 20 carries and 80 yards on the game, was averaging about like 3.7, 4 yards per carry, we at least didn't attempt, one rush play, like one. I know that they would have called a timeout, but if you see that James Cook is getting 3 to 4 yards per carry, that not one of the play calls, right, was that. And yes, it was Joe Brady. It certainly was. He was the one that was calling the plays. But is what it is. Same problem that plagues all same problem that plagues all of the underperforming teams, the trenches. How many years did we need another receiver besides Diggs Davis and did not even get one? We have Joseph Norris coming on in. When Cook is the focal point, we win. When he's not, we lose, period. We have Ian McDonald rolling on in, man. It's tough up here, man, as a Bills fan. It's tough up here in the Bills fan. It's tough up in here, boys. All right, listen. All right. Damn. All right. So, all right, guys, listen, I am going to make a video about some wide receiver prospects that I think that we should at least make a call on prior to the trade deadline. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I will be live on BetUS TV's The Huddle for our NFL show at 3 p.m. EST with Richie and TD Finstock. And then I might be live a little later this afternoon, so to unpack a little bit more. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Out of 451 of you in the chat right now, I almost guarantee 100 of you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel. We want 30,000 subscribers within the next 4 or 5 weeks. I think that we can do it. So subscribe if you have not already and turn on bell notifications. I'm live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. EST every single day. I cannot wait to see you guys later this afternoon. Thank you so much. It will be okay. But as of right now, we move on. And this stream is powered by BetUS. See you soon.